Oh man, are you on? Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors and everybody in between.
Yes, it is 8:30 in Vienna, which means it's time for It Should Be About Something.
That is correcto mundo.
Today is the 10th of March, 2022.
It is indeed. This is episode number 64.
Will you still love me when I'm 64?
And we are live here in Vienna, and we are super glad that you are joining us. If you don't know, It Should Be About Something has got a chat. You can hop on the chat and say hello. We see that there are some people who are already on it, so just do your shout outs and say hi, and let us know how your week has been, because I'm going to ask Michael.
And I'm going to ask Jim.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Jim.
How was your week? Let's figure that out.
And while we update each other about our week, why don't you guys drop us a line in the chat about what you did, how awesome your week was.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
So did you have an awesome week?
I had a fairly awesome week.
Fairly awesome.
I had a fairly awesome week. There was a lot happening. Did something happen on Friday? Something definitely happened on Friday.
I don't remember Friday.
I don't remember it either right now. I'd have to look back.
Most of my life is a blur, in fact. I have difficulty remembering things that are not further away than 3 days.
That's right. So Sunday, I played on Sunday with you.
No, you didn't.
Not with you. No, you played.
I played on Sunday solo.
And I played on Sunday. So we both played on Sunday, but in different places. Mm-hmm. And then on Wednesday...
You played at the Tag.
I played at the Tag and you played at the Drachengasse.
That's right.
And then I played at the Drachengasse with you yesterday. That was cool.
Yeah, so going from the most recent to the less recent, the English Lovers did the English Lovers Hoedown and something Jamboree. It was an extremely long title, and we're never doing anything.
The Down Home Hoedown and Family Folk Fest Jamboree. And it was awesome.
The longest title on the planet.
I think
great. That's what we were going for.
Yeah.
But it was a great show, despite the long title.
Yeah. It was super, super fun. It was our countrified version of an improvised concert show, and it was terrific.
It was really a lot of fun. I hope we do that again.
Absolutely.
Because, the Rat Pack was really fun to do for a long time, but it kind of got long in the tooth.
I don't agree with that, but we'll have to talk about that. You've mentioned this a couple times.
I'm really glad we did something new. It was time.
But one doesn't necessarily have to do with the other. But I understand that, and I hear you, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
There was a
band
moment
too. Like we had a fiddle and an acoustic guitar and a double bass. It was really nice sound, nice sounding show.
It really was. It really was. Michi did a great job on the tech, and the band was great. Michael was very, very funny. He did a number as a poet artist.
Sexy Sam.
Named Sexy Sam.
We didn't know who was going to go on as what. We kind of got the artist from the audience before the show started. But then it was kind of a mad rush backstage for who was going to go on as who. Which was great, because you didn't know who you were going to be in the next scene. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun, and you killed that. It was very, very funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You were very funny in the Brazilian thing.
The Brazilian thing?
Yeah.
The Brazilian
Jacob and Jim and Sophie did this Brazilian thing, which was like, I don't know, sofa sexy. I'm gonna go with sofa sexy.
It was very sofa sexy. It was multi-culti. And we had a really nice crowd. And you know who came to the show last night, who I was really glad to see, was Franziska Singer.
That's right.
And her crazy, brilliant, funny friend, Lorna.
The pseudo-Irish lady from Philadelphia.
Is she a pseudo-Irish lady?
She's a pseudo-Irish lady from Philadelphia.
She's a little different every time I meet her, but I enjoy it every single time.
She was lots of fun.
As I also enjoy it whenever I see Franziska. And some of you out there might know her, and if you don't, you should check her out. All the German-speaking types. Franziska does this great podcast called Darf's a Bissl Mord sein.
Yeah.
And
But she does it with a partner. Do you know what the
I
partner
can't
is?
remember her partner's name.
I saw them do that reading live, actually, at Wien dreht auf.
Oh, right.
Maybe 2 summers ago. Maybe it was last time. I can't remember, right? But it's a lot of fun. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Because she funny.
Yeah.
She crazy too. But
Franziska?
that makes her funny.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
nice. She's nice to hang out with.
Absolutely.
Also, there were some Isbesites at the show. There was Ludovico was at the show.
Ludovico was at the show. That's
Came to
right.
my show as well.
He came.
As did Verena.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, you saw Verena? Cool.
I saw Verena on Sunday.
On Sunday.
That's right.
Nice. Nice.
In the flesh. We
Yeah.
wove.
Did you wove?
We wove.
You woved. We woved. Yeah, so it was a pretty good week. It was a pretty good, filled up week of stuff. With stuff in between. Yeah, crazy. Let's see how everybody in the chat's been doing on this week. Let's see who we got here.
Well,
Follower
the
of-
chat definitely filled up.
Yeah, follower of Clay's in the house. Hey, buddy.
Muchado.
Muchado. Android.
Android.
Andrew, I've been thinking a lot about Andrew lately. I'm not sure why, what's going on, but I got to get in touch with that guy. I'm glad to
Fligo.
see he's here. Pavlov's dog.
Marcus.
Marcus is in the house. Christina Las Muliku, I got to see last night at the show, and she looks radiant and
Round.
and large. You know, she's just a big,
Radiantly round.
radiantly round. Yeah, she's a cutie. Pavlov's dog. Hey, we got a new bot, everybody.
Saddam Alom. Everybody wave to Saddam Alom.
Fored. Saddam Alom.
Moko's here.
Moko.
Moko, I can't get used to you changing your name to Monica. It just didn't
know.
work for me.
It's
It's going to
super
be
weird.
Moko.
It's gotta be
And
Moko.
check it out.
Jeff,
Where you been, boy? Nice to
Dude.
see you back.
how's fatherhood? Yeah, and Verena is in the house. Just on time. That's
Well.
right, everybody. Wave to Verena. Verena, wave to the screen. Cool. All kinds of folks.
So, Pavlov's dog,
Yeah.
getting better every day, but still bark like my name suggests. Oh no, this is an answer to something else. Marcus built a kitchen in the new apartment and dealt with the aftermath.
How many screws were left over from the IKEA package?
My neighbor sent me a WhatsApp message this afternoon. He's like, "Are you home?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah. What do you need? Can you come over for 5 minutes?" I go to his place and he's got plastic up everywhere, like he's about to murder people.
Okay.
He's like, "I'm mounting these ceiling loudspeakers,
Oh, right.
and he needs to drill holes this size."
Right.
So I helped him kind of line this up
Right.
before he made a mess everywhere. It
Yeah.
was
You got to, when you're drilling up like that, you got to get the vacuum up there.
not if you're drilling like that, but the drill bit is this big.
Oh, it's one of those ones.
It's a big drill bit.
Right.
You
So
take
they're
out a
taking the whole bit of
whole-
sheetrock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well-
then I'm like, "Well, don't you have a Geodreieck so we can actually make this a right angle?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, it's in my desk." Fuck. The desk
It's
is
covered in
all
plastic.
covered in plastic.
Well, you know, Marcus, I trust very well. I'm sure he did very well with the aftermath of his new apartment kitchen. You know, he's pretty handy. Follower of Clay was saying had some improv theater and kids theater on the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
And tooling around in the forest, I think, was supposed to be fooling around in the forest. Or like tooling around in the forest.
No, tooling
sounds-
around.
Tooling around in the forest.
Yeah.
Tooling around in the
Yeah, I would totally accept tooling around as a...
Yeah, you take your tool out in the forest.
You take your tool out in the forest.
I never do that.
You've never taken your tool out in the forest?
Never seen me do that.
It's not about seeing them.
Moving on.
Christina's here, and Pavlov's feeling better. Marcus and Christina getting better every day. Sort like my name suggests. Pavlov's dog is barking, and the pot is in it.
It sounds like Pavlov caught some of the lurgy there.
That could very well be.
Go, what? No screws. Used all, go to a discount store, buy a plastic bowl. Make a hole for a vacuum and voila. Yes. Yes. This might work.
Mr. Perkins
This
in
might
the
be too
house.
late.
I love it.
Too late.
That's
But,
great though. I can. It's so visual. You know, just go get a damn plastic bowl, little X-Acto, stay it on the thing. That's amazing. Great idea. Life hacks. I love it.
Yeah. It's not quite hacked yet because you need to put the drill somewhere as well.
Yeah, the drill goes there, and then you just have you hold the vacuum with the bowl that's catching all the stuff. It's brilliant. Foolproof. I love it.
It's foolproof.
I want to drink to that.
Yeah. Are we slurping?
We should be slurping.
Yeah, okay, let's slurp this.
You know what we don't have?
What?
Is all the rest of we forgot to set up the bar.
I mean, we sat here watching the clock tick down for the first time ever, and we weren't set up properly. No wonder we were watching the clock tick down.
Wow, we've got so much time. Why the hell haven't? What's going on? Slurp, slurp, everybody.
Okay, what do we need? I'll go and get it.
We need everything. It's all.
Damn.
It's all.
God damn it.
It's all in the fridge. We also just realized just before we went on air that we were trying to record a promo for next week, and we realized that Michael's microphone wasn't on the whole time. We're professionals. That's how we do it for you. That's the ISBAZ quality that you get from us here at ISBAZ. So while Michael's getting the alcohol, I would like to tell everybody that It Should Be About Something is a show that we try to do every week. And we've got a whole bunch of really nice folks that get together in the between times, and they hang out on Facebook in a Facebook group called ISBAZ HQ, where all kinds of fun stuff happens. So we'd encourage you to do that. If you are joining us for the first time, ISBAZ, It Should Be About Something, comes to you in 3 parts, and we call them chapters, and this is chapter 1. On your biggest time wasters.
I think it's self-explanatory, isn't it?
In a lot of ways.
What
You
are
would
your
think
biggest-
so.
You might think so. Maybe there's more to it. Than,
All right,
than
but
you
I
think.
like that. Okay, so this is going to be the challenge to the chat. Whatever your connotation is, whatever brand of waste you got, what are your biggest time wasters? The things that waste the most time in your life, or perhaps where you wait. I don't know. Just do it. Just what do you get out of that? Mm-hmm. So when you hear that, well, your biggest time wasters, Michael, where does your brain jump for first?
It's like social media. That's my biggest waste of time.
So you jump right towards the things that you actively waste time.
Yes, I really actively waste. Well, it's a weird kind of actively wasting time. Like sometimes I'll be on Facebook, for instance,
Right.
and I'll be going, "This is bullshit."
Yeah.
Refresh.
Dang. Yeah, man. Got to get that dopamine. Got to get that dopamine in you.
Yeah. I mean, I spend a lot less time on Facebook than I used to because Facebook's just got crap.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot more fun.
You know why? Because people ruin everything.
Yeah, but the people involved in that is actually Zuckerberg making money.
Still people. Although
It's
the
still people.
Zuckerberg
He's-
is a question upon whether
Yeah.
how much people he is.
Yeah.
Still. Hello, fellow humans.
Or what are they called? What are Saddam Alom.
Saddam Alom.
Vor Ered.
Vor
Red.
Erdid. Saddam Alom.
Yeah, it's actually weird how it actually used to be a bit of a fun platform. It was kind of fun to be on Facebook, but they made it really difficult to navigate.
You know,
you can't post things anymore to your page without going around the
For me,
whole
it really-
circle a couple of times.
For me, it really lost its complete allure in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know when that happened, but at some point, we all collectively realized that we are all brands of our own personal making, and we have to curate this thing. And then maybe because it was always a marketing platform, maybe it was just endemic to the thing. But that's when I just was like, I don't. It becomes work.
Yeah. Well, for a while there, I was setting up pages for myself that I thought I could use as a website alternative.
Sure.
But they don't work as website alternatives at all.
No. And now, I mean, I really only ever go there to post something that to hopefully see if anybody. Who the fuck? It just feels so.
Yep. I mean, I think Isbaz HQ has given Facebook a new lease on life, as far as I'm concerned, because that's like the thing that I want to go and check out when I go to Facebook, is like what's going on in the HQ. And then I'm like, okay, fine, that was fun. Let's see what else is going on. And then like 20 minutes later, I'll be like, refresh.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that you do that this is actually kind of a waste of time? Because I mean, like even with Facebook, you could maybe make the case, I'm trying to promote my gig, or I'm checking out to see how things.
Well, but then
Okay, but is there anything else that that you actively do that I'm just pissing away my time here?
There's nothing that compares to social media at all. Actually, nothing I can think of even that wastes time as much as that.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of internet surfing? Like once you're off of Facebook?
Sure, but but I don't consider that a waste of time, because usually I'm looking for something, or I'm looking up something, or that which is why I didn't say internet in general, as like social media. Like even when I'm on YouTube, when I go to YouTube, it's usually for entertainment.
Right.
So that it also means that I'm not supposed to be doing something else. I'm on YouTube to entertain myself.
Did you ever feel that television was at one point a waste of your time? Did you go through a phase of that?
I guess. Okay, this is a very good point actually, because television reached that point where, at least here in Austria, we only had like 2 or 3 channels,
right?
And it was 2 or 3 channels of crap,
right?
But you'd watch 60% crap to get the 40% good,
right?
And those 60% crap really felt like a total waste of time,
right?
Like you're just sitting there waiting for something else to happen, and it's maybe not long enough to actually do something else. You're waiting for your show to come on, and in the meantime, you're watching, I don't know, the umpteenth rendition of some shit that somebody's done 100 times somewhere else before,
sure,
and better probably.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Netflix and Amazon have become kind of like that too, because one of my biggest time wasters is looking for something worthwhile to watch, trying to trick the Netflix algorithm into not recommending the crap I don't want to watch.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing about that. I think, damn it.
That's my biggest external time waster, is Netflix.
Right.
The Netflix algorithm.
But, shouldn't we perhaps maybe just be more gezielt with what we're looking at and don't go surfing for stuff?
Yeah, I try and do that.
Yeah.
I try and do that. But it's not always possible.
I know.
I mean, I have a list, and I collect ideas from other people, and then I go to Netflix, and every time I go to Netflix, I'm like, why are you not suggesting these things for me? I go and I look up occult stuff that Netflix has never recommended for me. I put it in my list, but Netflix still continues to recommend only the 10 things that it thinks I want to see. Right?
Maybe Mr. Perkins can let us know. The algorithm, it's just bullshit, right? It's just they're just marketing.
I don't think they have an algorithm. I think algorithms cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't think Netflix has one. I don't think they spend any money on it.
They marketing whatever their shit is.
Everybody's in their loop, and they just loop things for you to see.
Yeah.
Uncle Mike ranting about Netflix. Yes, that's what the people come. That's what I keep them. They keep on coming for that.
They keep on coming for your Netflix rants.
Yeah,
I see. Okay, I want to ask about the idea of wasting time. Simply because I feel like even the idea of wasting time is predicated on the idea that there is a better use of that time. A better use of that time also in that moment. You know what I mean?
Keep going.
So,
you want to be a productive member of society all the time. Is that what you're saying?
I think there's baked into this is this idea.
So you've got a guilty conscience when you're like sitting on the sofa with your dick in your hand.
With your dick in your hand, exactly. Yeah. So abgesehen, you know, taking away the idea of social media, which is just, you know, a machine built to keep your eyeballs on the thing, right? And if we are trying to figure out how we can sort of cultivate where our attention gets put so it doesn't feel like we're wasting time.
Okay, so I've started doing something recently.
Yeah.
I'm following the advice of great guitar teachers out there is never keep your guitar in a bag or a box.
Right.
Always keep it out so you can always play it when you want to, right?
Yeah, make it easy.
So I've started doing this every time I have to interrupt the show that I'm watching with my wife for whatever reason, whether she goes to the kitchen or she's on the phone or right, whatever. Instead of going to Twitter or Facebook in the meantime, I pick up the guitar and I play for 5 minutes.
That's great.
2 minutes or whatever. And then it goes back on the stand.
So this reminds me of a conversation I had with Jeff Vino years ago. And it was back when I was into doing pull-ups a lot, which you're now doing. And Jeff said, yeah, you know, when I was in university, I put a pull-up bar, you know, over the door of my room. And the rule was, you know, every time I would go through the door, I would do 5 pull-ups. And I was like, that's awesome. And he said, you would never believe how creative I got about not ever going through that damn door.
What's the maximum amount of pull-ups you've done? Like at your peak of pull-upping?
At my peak of pull-upping, I could easily do 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think at the peak of my pull-upping, I've done 10, maybe 12. And I've been very sloppy about them.
Yeah.
And now I can do 4.
Right. I found it's all about consistency.
Sure, totally.
And there's a strength absolutely component, but there's also a technique component, I find, you know, or it's a training component of it.
I guess there's a technique component to virtually everything.
Of course. But it was really practicing the movement helped to make it better. Of course, you were getting stronger, but there was also a practicing of the movement.
Yeah.
And doing those progressions that really helped. Like I would follow like a program of doing, you know, like do 8 reps and then rest. But at the beginning, I was like struggling to do 1.
Yeah.
And I could really see the progress. That's
nice
the cool thing about that.
It's nice to see that progress. Yeah.
But you have to be so consistent with it.
Yeah. I mean, I try and do that with like all of my workout stuff is just like when the computer's loading something, when I'm uploading or downloading something, that's the 5 minutes or 3 minutes I'll use to do a couple of push-ups or do a couple of pull-ups.
Right.
Right. So that's a great way, like uploading, waiting for the fucking status bar. That is one of my worst time wasters. But I've actually started utilizing that time. I don't sit there and wait for it to upload.
You know what?
I'm going to do something else in the meantime.
You know what the new status bar is? It's when you're in a conversation with a group of people and then somebody says, oh my God, whatever we're talking about right now, I've got the funniest picture to show you about that. And then they pull out their phone and they start looking for the picture and the whole conversation stops.
Yeah.
And everybody looks at the person who's looking through their thing and it's right here, it's so funny. Oh my God. And then it takes forever.
Yeah.
And that's the new loading bar for me. That's the new status bar.
Kind of reminds me of those people who take a phone call while they're sitting at the table with you and the conversation ends at the table because they're on the phone to someone and everybody else is waiting for them to get off their conversation. That fucking drives me crazy. Like if you take a phone call, go in the next room. There's a reason why phones used to be in the next room. Not in the living room, right? So I noticed that my wasting time on Netflix looking for something really resonated with Mocha, because she's like in capitals.
It's true. You get into that. Let's go to the beginning here and see what the chat has to say. Should synchro talk Michael's part.
Mocha's like, work. It's a waste of time.
So Andrew's is cars. Marcus is Tinder. Tinder's his time waster.
I've got a Tinder one for you. So this guy on Twitter the other day is like posting, guys, get off Tinder. It's a waste of time. Go to eBay and put in a search for women giving away their wedding gowns, because they're definitely freshly divorced. That's how you want to meet freshly divorced women.
Wow, yeah.
Freshly single women, right?
Just boarding up there, just on the rebound, just pulling down boards all the whole time. Rebound king. Social media, definitely. Work, there is something to be said about work being a terrible time waster. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Waste of time, Facebook spend time.
I'd also don't
What?
get over on your side.
What is happening here?
Andrew's like cars, but I agree. It's not a waste of time because you enjoy doing it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a waste of time.
That's right.
Social media, yes.
Cleaning, you just finished and can start all over again. So Muchado.
Everything mushroom related is a waste of time? Follower of clay. You disappoint me.
You are not understanding, Michael. Read that again and let me continue talking.
Wasted time, Facebook. Spent time, everything mushroom.
Facebook is wasted time.
Yes.
Well spent time, not time that's been spent, not wasted, is everything mushroom related. Because our boy's a mushroom freak.
I know he's a mushroom freak.
So that's what he's saying.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Muchado,
read between the lines.
I wanted just to say two things. Cleaning, I think, is a big waste of time. And I'm starting to understand how big of a waste of time it is, because I just recently said goodbye to my cleaning lady, who has been my longest relationship, and she retired. And it came really quickly because she'd gotten sick and I hadn't seen her for a little bit, and then she came back and she was like, it just all kind of fell into place. I knew that she was going to be retiring, but it all kind of fell into place, and she was like, this is going to be my last time. And I was so on the back foot. I didn't have a gift for her, and it felt so sad, but I got to hug her, and it was just so weird because I've known her for so long, and she's going back to Poland. It's not like she's dying. I mean, but it was crazy.
There are worse things than going back to Poland.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. She's got a big garden, and she's psyched, new grandkid coming on the way.
Didn't her daughter go back to Poland as well? She was the hairdresser, right?
Yeah. She's got a great, her place is doing great.
Good for her.
Yeah. But now I'm cleaning again.
Now you're cleaning again.
And I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Tracking down and debunking archaeology and misinformation would be mine. That's Andrea Farler, Clay's better half. Yeah. Do you do a lot of that? Is that a waste of time? Of course it's a waste of time, because lies are so easy. Yeah, cleaning.
Yeah, getting into discussions on the internet about people who are convinced that they're right about something.
Yeah.
That's a huge waste of time. I did that for a bit at the beginning of the pandemic.
All the time I waste second guessing myself or my abilities. Pavlov's dog, man, that speaks from my soul. I waste a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a trap.
That's true.
True that. Man.
The days I've spent procrastinating about the email that I'm going to send to the people that I want to work with, or the company I want to apply for the job, or whatever it is, right? They're like, can I do this? Shouldn't I? How do I do this? I can't do it. I don't know, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible.
Blame it on the ADD. Yeah. Netflix uses a past viewed history to recommend stuff.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Oh, no.
If they did, then it would. I would get better recommendations. They don't. That's what they say they do. I realize that, but it's not what they do.
Oh,
it's
God.
impossible.
They do market research where you send in your Netflix. It's like,
At
the same for the whole
at this
year.
point, Mr. Perkins is just feeding the fire to see if he can break Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, the depth of self-optimization. Yeah, or the trap of self-optimization. You can also not be productive and still not waste your time. Absolutely, I'm a huge fan of that idea of the Musikgang, or just being lazy.
Yep.
There's something really to
Being
be said
bored
about.
as well, allowing yourself
Yeah.
to be bored.
Wasn't there was a book called How to Be Lazy, an Anleitung zur Musikgang was the German title, and there was this
Müßiggang.
Musikgang.
Müßiggang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Complaining about the government is Christina's favorite waste of time. She does like to do it though.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I've made a bad habit of starting the first thing that comes up on Netflix and watch it. Oh,
No, I can't do that.
Never.
There's so much.
Never.
There's so much crap
there's
on there.
so much crap. Oh, Philly Girl 1000 in the house saying, making lists of what I should be doing instead of wasting time
I think
procrastinating.
that's the perfect storm of wasting time.
Oh,
it's like making a
it's
list
making
of
the
things
list.
that you should be doing. Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Well, those are a good bunch of time
Yeah,
wasters.
that was pretty good. I
Did
like
we
that.
learn anything out of this?
Nah.
No. I guess not.
There was actually one thing that I wanted to get back to here.
All right.
Because Verena was doing one thing before we moved on to chapter 1 that doesn't seem like a waste of time at all.
What
She
did she
said she is taking a screenwriting class.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool.
Nice.
And are you doing it online, or are you doing it? Maybe post some information on the ISBAZ HQ. What?
Nothing.
Did I get you the wrong ones? Did I get you the wrong Red Bulls? Those were the only ones. They only had 2 different flavors at Billa. Okay. Well, then you should have got them yourself. I did. For the life of me, I don't understand why he drinks the sugar-free stuff in any case. I mean, it's just horrible. Aspartame. All of those fake sugars just taste awful. I don't understand. I do not. It does not compute. Does not compute. It's a soft drink. It's supposed to have sugar in it. It's not supposed to be sugar-free.
Whatever.
So it's the Red Bull Zeros. No, they did not have these.
They did.
They only had the 2.
I just bought them there. This one I bought right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
I had trouble finding the tins in the first place. Why don't they not keep the Red Bull tins with all the other tins? Like the Red Bull Organics tins on the one side of the aisle, and the other Red Bulls like way over there.
Where's the vodka?
Yeah. ISBAZ. Vodka.
That's right.
Vodka. Good. Okay.
Man, we are so together and
You
on
should
it tonight.
synchro talk Michael's part. Oh no, we don't have to do that because we have such good microphones that one mic is enough.
That's what they all say. I meant the first thing on my list on Netflix, or continue watching something, otherwise it's a whole rabbit of not being able to decide what to watch. I see what you're saying. Either it's that one or nothing at all. What? I still don't understand that one.
I kind of move on to nothing at all quite a lot these days with Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, fine, fuck you. Right,
I think we did it.
new slurp.
Move on to chapter 2.
We're gonna move on. Excellent. Yeah, don't be too heavy-handed. I've got to work tomorrow.
Yep. Me too. I'm going to work tomorrow.
Good.
Number 2, chapter 2. What the hell was it?
Yeah, it's mistakes you made early on in your career. So, I think we need to go right down to basics. Career. Well, like, what exactly did you mean when you wrote that,
I
James?
love it that you think it's always. Why do you always pin this shit on me? I was the one that was saying I question all of the words in this sentence.
Yeah, but you didn't say it while we were online.
God damn
I
it.
waited for the camera to be on.
Okay, I know what mistake I made right now in my
I'm
career.
more professional than you are. This is what we learned from this. I didn't shoot my load before the camera was on.
I wait for you to do
What
it.
do I get? A soft drink?
I don't. Where is it?
Oh, it's down here.
Do you want this stuff? I can offer
No!
this bullshit.
Oh wait, I have the slip. I can take these back. And change them. I can. Uncle Mike can.
Uncle Mike can do it all. Yeah. So, what are the things that you did when you were younger, starting off in your chosen profession? What were those mistakes that you'd like to, that you, if you could fix them, or maybe not? I don't know. Do you consider?
I'm slurping.
All right.
Let's slurp first.
All right.
Cheers, Isbezites. I hope you're all slurping too. Wow, you put a lot of vodka in that.
What? You saw what I put in there.
I told you I have to work tomorrow.
You are such a little diva tonight. My God. All right. Here's my question.
Yes.
Do you have a career?
Yes. I consider what I've done a career. Yeah, sure.
The collection of
Of all the things that I've done, yeah.
is constitute your career.
When I was at acting school, one of my teachers said she wants us to write down on a slip of paper what we envision, what our vision of us doing in 25 or 30 years is, or at some point in the future. And I wrote something down on the slip of paper, and I put it in my wallet, and I carried it around with me for years. And I stopped using that wallet. And then about 5 years ago, I found that wallet, and the slip of paper was in there. And I unfolded the slip of paper, and I was like, it's true. That's exactly what I do.
Cool. What can you tell us what was on that piece of paper?
Yeah, I think I said I wanted to do. I can't remember exactly because I invented this word to describe it, but it was basically being active in a whole lot of different media, in multilingually and internationally, and that's what I do.
Yeah,
Like, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a voiceover artist. I do TV, I do music, I do all these things, right? Yeah, so it all kind of worked out, actually, as the without me actually going around planning it as that.
Right.
But I guess it just turned out that way because I've always wanted to do all of these things, and this was the thing that I did early on in my career that sometimes felt like a mistake, was turning down offers I got because they didn't fall in line with things that I wanted to do.
You think that was a mistake?
No, it feels like a mistake because sometimes there was like offers from big theater companies. They'd offer you a lot of money and you want to do this, or you go and work, I don't know, somewhere in the boondocks of southern Germany for like 3 years, and you're there on a contract, and it seems like a good career move to make. But I never did take those offers because I always wanted to do something else.
Right.
And in the long run, that's been, not necessarily profitable, but it's been possibly a good career choice and a good life choice. Right?
Well, that's the thing, right? So, but you feel like at the time it felt like it was a mistake, but it wasn't an actual mistake.
Well, at the time it didn't feel like a mistake. Like 3 years down the line when I was broke
it felt like a mistake.
and looking for a job, it definitely felt like a mistake.
Right.
Or when I'd kind of seen where colleagues of mine had moved on to after they'd taken that kind of gig.
Yeah.
Then it felt like a mistake.
Yeah.
But, when we spoke about this topic last week, I thought, that's an interesting topic. I think I'd have a lot to say about that. But the more I thought about it, the more I came back to improv and that there are no mistakes. And I don't actually consider any of the choices that I made mistakes. Like I guess if you make the same bad choice a couple of times in a row, you're going to have to accept at some point that you made a mistake doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's a bad choice is definitely a mistake. if you know that it's a bad choice, or if you should know better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I still make bad choices, Mike. Sometimes
Yeah,
I'll take
yeah.
on a job with somebody and I'll be thinking from the beginning, this is a bad idea. I shouldn't be doing this. Right?
Well, I mean, I make a ton of mistakes as well. I mean, I used to make mistakes and I still do. So, first of all, the idea of a career. I like Marcus writing the succession of things we do for money. So the succession of things we do for money as a career, sure. I think that word is kind of laden. You know, there's some folks who say, well, I don't have a career, or what is a career, who needs a career? Absolutely. Career is such a strange word. For us, in our non-meritocracy profession, career is that succession of work. That is just, you can only look back to see what your career was. But in other professions, it feels like there are actual career paths where somebody knows, I enter this thing and this will be a career, you know, like it's laden in that direction.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, I was kind of in camp, what the fuck is a career? Do I have a career? Is that a career, or is it just a succession? So I was glad you said, yes, you have a career, because I like that idea. I like looking back and saying, okay, that has been my career.
Well, I don't actually consider it a succession of things that I've done for money.
No.
Because I could have made better choices if it were just about the money.
Agreed, but it's about the professional, it's about your professional career rather than, you know, and I think those things that you do for money and don't do for money are part of that professional career.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, everything that is career oriented, as far as I'm concerned, has to do with the thing that I've chosen to do because I enjoy doing it, not because what I get paid to do it.
Sure.
Sometimes it works out that I get paid to do it as well.
Absolutely. You know, it took a long time for me to get to a place where it felt for me where I felt like I could say no to things. You know, I think that happens to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning, you have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I got to that place where I could say no. I think probably that happened early enough that it was a problem. Kind of like when I was younger, I used to think I'll have enough money in my life when I can take a taxi anywhere I want to go, anytime I want to go. And then I got to a point where I was earning enough money to be able to do that. And then I got to a point in my life where I wasn't earning enough money to do that, but I still did it. No, I still did it.
Right.
And maybe that's kind of the same with some of those mistakes. Or
that's how I feel about all the cigarettes I've smoked in my life.
Yeah, that was a mistake, right?
That wasn't a career move, though.
It wasn't a career move. I think one of the mistakes that I made early in my career, and I don't know if it's a mistake, this is not true, I don't know if I really believe this, but my career was very different because I never went to university. Not really. You know, I did classes at the university, but I was working professionally straight on. And I never did that exercise of what do you want to be doing in the next 5 years or whatever that was. And I don't know if that's because of lack of leadership in my life, fostering in my life, or if it was because I'm just very much a journey kind of person and never really had that in my brain of thinking about the future. I don't know. But I don't know if it was a mistake, but I do know that what didn't make it easier that I didn't go to college or university. It did make it super interesting, though, my life, my career.
It's a very difficult question to answer, actually, because I think if you consider it a journey and you don't come out of drama school a fully fledged actor, you come out of drama school as somebody who's been given some craft. Like you have a knowledge of some crafts. You become an actor somewhere down the line where you've figured out how to make an art out of the craft that somebody has taught you.
Right.
And well, where did I start with this? So it's not actually. It's not like you actually do that and then you get a career, and your career starts when you end that training.
Well, not in our profession, because it's not a meritocracy, and that's the whole point. In other careers, absolutely. If you're studying to become a lawyer, you're going to find a place to fucking work. You know, it's our profession is a little different in that sense.
Well, there are those kind of gray zones.
Sure.
Right? When I came out of the Konservatorium der Stadt Wien, right? Your chances of getting hired at upmarket theatre were pretty good.
Right.
So you could opt in for that career trajectory. You could take the 2-year or 3-year contract at the Josefstadt, or you could take like a 2-year contract in Coburg.
Yeah.
And when you've done your 2 years in Coburg, then you can do another 2 years at the Josefstadt, and you can move from the Josefstadt to the Burgtheater if you play your cards right?
Right.
I mean, you have to keep sucking up, and you have to keep kissing ass,
Yeah.
and you have to keep keeping on.
Right.
And if you do all those things, then you might end up, I don't know, at Burgtheater playing major roles, or you might not.
Right.
Right?
Because it's
and the
not
thing
a
is, there's only a
meritocracy.
couple of people playing those major roles at Burgtheater. There's a lot of people at Burgtheater kind of in that middle level of having
Sure.
ticked all those boxes and got there.
So I think, I don't know if it's a mistake, but it just made it a very different thing to have access to that sort of connection, the connections that you can get when you're in that academic world in our profession. The other thing that I don't know if it's a mistake that I made early on, or if it was just the way I am, or if it was just victim of circumstance. That's just how the cards crumbled.
Cookie crumbled?
Just how the cookies
Cards
got
dropped.
dealt.
The cookies got dealt?
It's just how the cookies got dealt.
Yeah.
But what happened with me was I never really learned, I didn't become successful enough in getting other people to give me work.
I'm not
I
sure
never-
I know what you mean with that.
Well,
By that.
I always ended up making my own work.
Oh, I see.
Creating my own work. And, there was never, I never figured out the system of getting people to say, like, I've had tons of people say, this is great, but never to have anybody be like, yeah, I need you for this thing. I've gotten gigs before, I've gotten hired because of the work that I've done, but it was always because of work that I did. And I never learned that going to the audition thing, or getting an agent, not that they exist in Austria anyway, but that's a different topic. They do. Don't put that face, just...
They don't.
Oh my God. In any case, I don't know if it's a mistake or not.
I'll do with my face what I like.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but that was a thing. And it certainly, I love what happened because of that, but I don't know if it was a mistake to not learn that skill.
I think
or
you're
to not be-
overestimating that skill, actually.
It could very well be, because it's something I never had. It's kind of like not going to university. How different would life be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verena said something about not taking the federal acting exam. Like, I almost didn't take it either, and nobody's ever asked me for it.
Of course not.
Like, I took it as a, kind of as a byproduct a year after that I got kicked out of drama school.
I used to call it, because I'd never heard of that until I came to Austria, and it's the Paritätische. Yeah, and I used to call it the Pathetische Prüfung.
Well, there's a little bit of that in there, yeah.
It's just, I don't understand it.
Well, the thing is, nobody wants to see that document. I've never
Nobody
been
cares
asked
about it.
for that document.
And I think it would be great if once you
Oh,
did
no,
that,
that's
it
why
means
I wanted to see it.
I'm sure they did, but I think like if you got that, and then you're part of the Gewerkschaft, and if that Gewerkschaft actually did something for you,
it might be worth it. Yeah. Let's go to the chat.
sure.
Same
Stop
lawyers,
doing it?
many other things after studying.
So let's move back to where everybody was, and Vernon is still waiting for a career to start. Mistakes I made early on in my career: shut down ad serving for the internet by mistake.
We've heard about this.
Yeah.
Yes. You almost got bollocked for that.
Relationships at work.
Is that a bad career choice? Sleeping with your professors. Is that a bad career choice?
There is that don't shit where you eat idea.
Yeah.
Probably many. What's a career? Which one of the many careers?
It's a brand of guitars. What?
Career is a brand of guitar.
Oh.
No.
Very deep, Pavlov.
It's not breaking. It's not breaking body parts. Those aren't the mistakes. I have no career anyway.
Verena's career is not breaking body parts.
Yeah. Moko has got the love of her kids. You just keep telling yourself that. And of course they love you. Just kidding. The succession of things we... Yeah, okay. Thank Father of Clay. Sure. Do we have any careers? No, of course not. No, they're totally overrated. Careers
We've got
totally
Isbaz. Who needs a career?
Yeah.
Yes. Make a career out of... I think I've already made... I was going to say it. I'm going to make a career out of sitting to your right. But I think I've already made a career out of sitting to your left.
Sometimes you make a choice of convenience, which afterward was a bad choice.
Yes, that's kind of what I meant about like taking a job solely for the money.
Right.
You think, oh, this is a good idea, and then it ends up being a total pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And it's a bad career move, and you hate everything about it. And
Yeah.
in the end, because you hate so much about it, you hate the money, you hate that you got paid so little to do it as well.
Yeah. Those are the ones that I don't know. I think I've gotten better about it, but probably not.
Yeah, I've got
better,
definitely.
Is the ones where the idea of a project is way better than the actuality of a project.
I think I've got better at gauging
Whether that's
people's
going to
stamina.
happen. Yeah. Sometimes you make a choice of convenience. I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Give me convenience or give me death. To quote the great Ted Kennedy's. Suppose it was never taking the federal exam for acting. Oh, yeah, but fuck them. Formal education versus street smarts. Well, it's the same for lawyers or many other things. After study, you still don't know enough without the experience that come with practice. I've never been asked for proof of any sort of degree or certification. Yeah, but in a way, you couldn't get away with it. In Andrew's field, that is a meritocracy. You can either get the job done or you can't.
Yeah, I think Andrew doesn't get asked for any kind of degree or certification because they've already Googled him.
Yeah.
He dropped that one ad bomb in 1982, and they have not forgotten him about him since then. It's like, oh, that guy, we need him badly, or we badly need him to keep him away from us. It's either one or the other.
I think when this whole thing started, I thought maybe we might realize, trying to pretend you know everything at the beginning of your career rather than being humble and asking questions, being curious, was a mistake that one would make early in their career. I didn't think it was going to be,
everybody makes that mistake,
what the fuck is a career and does anyone actually need one?
But that is definitely a mistake that I made early in my career, is thinking I knew everything. Yeah, but you also...
or not necessarily thinking you know everything, but trying to prove to everybody else that you do.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if there's a difference for you there, but...
Not necessarily, but yeah, I know what can happen. I realize what can happen there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like in a class, if I'm teaching a class, not every time, but often, there'll be one person in that class that it feels like they are just there to prove that they can already do it.
Does it remind you of you?
No.
Oh.
No, it doesn't. But it just gets super annoying.
Sure, it's a total pain in the ass.
And it's such a waste of money. Why are you doing
Yeah,
this?
if you already know everything, then why did you pay me to teach you?
Yeah, you don't go to a math class just to tell the professor, I can already do calculus. You don't have to teach me anything. It's super weird.
Yeah. You should tell them if they know everything, then they should be teaching the class.
Yeah. That was chapter 2. Good work. We're going to take a little break.
Just like...
We're going to take a 30-second break by talking to our sponsors.
That guy with the glasses, he's taking shit from his girlfriend. That was good choice.
Yeah. Back to the show.
Are we not moving on to chapter 3 directly?
Why not?
I think we should.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay. Chapter 3.
Outdoor activities.
So, Michael, what were you thinking when you wrote this?
I didn't. I chose it.
What
You wrote it. What were you thinking, Jim?
What made you want to talk about
What
outdoor
mental
acti-
lapse were you having when you barfed this onto the page?
Why? 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 Outdoor activities. All right. First question for the Isbazes, the Isbazoozlas, and the Isbazites. What is your favorite outdoor activity? And what's your most hated outdoor activity?
That's a good place to start.
Boom. Favorite outdoor activity for me?
Yeah.
Favorite outdoor activity is being next to water. So like the chance to jump into the water and hanging out in the sun. Favorite outdoor activity.
So poolside. Poolside on a sunny day.
Lakeside, oceanside, riverside, any body of water side, hanging out in the sun. And then, because everything can happen. You can play tag, you can play frisbee.
You can play nothing.
You can play
You can
nothing.
lie in the sun. That's
you can
that,
read.
if you just
can go
lie there and do
swimming.
nothing, it's an outdoor activity, isn't it? It
Fuck
counts.
to the yes.
I think my least favorite outdoor activity
Okay.
is battling the elements.
Okay, all right. Battling the elements. I hear you. I
Like
hear
you
you.
go out to have a good time,
And then the elements are doing
everything is
something
against
shitty.
you, whether
Yeah.
it's the ants or the wind or the rain,
Right?
or the sand or the mud. I once gave up a pair of trousers to the ocean.
Yeah,
It
I hear you.
It just wanted them.
Just
I was like, okay, fine,
Fine.
but just take them.
you win.
You win. Yeah.
Well, the ocean generally does. It's, if you get into a fight with the ocean.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Most hated outdoor activity, I think, is probably any time it's cold. So it doesn't matter what the activity is. If it's cold.
But if it's cold and you're dressed badly for the activity.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but obviously, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to go along with you, battling the elements, because that means you're not prepared for whatever element is there, for the most part.
Or things don't turn out
Yeah.
the way you envisage them.
Right.
So you're having a picnic on a lovely little grassy knoll.
Great outdoor
And
activity.
it's a great outdoor thing, and the sun is shining, and there's
yeah.
just enough breeze and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and the whole hill is covered in ant heaps. And
Right.
they are all over your food the whole
Right,
time.
right. Yeah, that totally sucks. That totally sucks, but it wouldn't make me not want to do it anymore.
When's the last time you had a picnic?
In summer. Did we have a picnic last summer? Yeah, we definitely had a picnic last summer.
Did it work out?
Yeah.
No ants?
No ants. But there's a lot less picnicking happening because, we go upstairs and hang out there. And it was COVID. But it wasn't COVID in summer. Whatever. Anyway, is there an outdoor activity that you wouldn't do again? Like, there's an indoor activity that I don't want to ever have to do again, which is bowling.
Oh, yeah.
And playing pool for you.
Yeah, playing pool for me.
So is there
I
an
don't mind
outdoor?
bowling so much, actually.
Is it fine? Good. I don't like playing.
But
pool.
I totally understand that it's kind of akin to pool.
Yeah. Is there an outdoor activity that you'll never do again?
I don't remember one that was really that terrible that I'd never do it again. Most of the outdoor activities that I've taken part in were kind of fun, and yes, I would do them again.
Yeah.
And most of the outdoor activities that I've done in the past, I still do.
Are you prepared to do outdoor activities? Like if somebody called up and said,
Like, do I have the gear?
like if somebody called up and said, Michael, tomorrow we're gonna go hiking on the rocks. It's gonna take 3 hours. You gotta come. And you're like,
It's only going to take
"Hells yeah."
3 hours. Yeah, fuck. I don't even need to take my gear for that if it's only going to take 3 hours.
But
No, I know. Bless your soul. I know what you meant.
thank you.
Yes.
Play that game
Yes.
one time in
Yes.
my life.
I have the gear for that.
You do? What if somebody said, let's go fishing? You got the gear for that?
got the gear for
You
that as
fucking got the gear for that. All right, what if somebody said, we're going to go canoeing?
I don't have a canoe, no.
Yeah, but do you have a
paddle?
A safety vest?
I don't have my own paddle. No, I don't have a safety vest like a self-inflating vest. I've had a self-inflating vest, but I don't have one at the moment.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. See, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could be like, yeah, we're gonna go snow climbing tomorrow.
Like, I don't have the gear to go snow climbing.
Right.
Whatever that is. What the hell is snow climbing?
It's going to the rocks tomorrow. And if you go up to the rocks and you go hiking up the rocks, there's going to be snow and crap, and you're going to be wet, and you'd go up there for 3 hours, and then you'd come back down, and it would be a terrible outdoor experience because you would show up whether or not, you're prepared. And if you don't show up prepared, and you're there in sneakers, and you're like, this sucks.
I keep thinking of you going up there in 3 hours. That's so funny.
All right.
The last time I went up the rocks, I had to go to the hospital afterwards.
Did you?
Because I got an inflammation in my hip.
Okay. From the rocks?
Well, it was not just the rocks. I did quite a lot of hiking that in like a 10-day space, and one of them was the rocks, and it was 8 hours.
Yeah.
And there was another one that wasn't quite as long. It was the week before, and I went swimming in the ice cold water as well.
Right.
So the doctor couldn't tell me what I got this inflammation from, but it was mega painful.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep, it hurt so much. Christina had to call the ambulance to come and pick me up and take me to the hospital.
When was that?
That's how bad that was.
When was that?
It was like last summer somewhere. Yeah.
All right. I don't remember hearing about that. Probably because I didn't. That's okay. I have
But
been
it
on the
went away-
rocks.
it-
I
it
have been
went
on the
away very
rocks.
quickly.
I'm glad for you. I have been on the rocks, and it didn't take that long. I have, however, taken very long hikes. I was with my ex and another couple, and we went to the Deutsche Eck, just over Salzburg, in the Kalkgebirgen, and we park in the parking lot. We were a little late starting.
Yeah.
And it's a good 3 hour hike to the base camp, and then you start your Klettersteig, right? we get up there and we ask somebody, like, how long does it take to get to the thing? And they're like, oh, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we're like, okay, great, this is going to be awesome. It did not take
4 hours later,
you know,
in the dark,
and we got
stuck on the mountain.
we get up, and a couple of places, you know, he got stuck, and we get to the top, and it's all great, but it's already starting to get dark in the valley. And then going back down is a whole nother thing, and then there's a couple of places where some people got stuck, and then and finally we get to the base camp again, and we're like, well, how long does it take to get down to our car? And they're like, well, you know, it'll take you 2 hours to get down, because it takes 3 hours to going up, it'll take you 2 hours to get down.
At least.
And we're like, okay. And they said, but you really shouldn't go because it's dark now, and you got to sleep here. And we're like, we can't, we have to, you know, be in Salzburg in the mornings to get back for this thing. And so they gave us a couple of Taschenlampen that gave up the ghost 20 minutes in. So we were using the light of the screens of our pre-iPhone handies, trying to find the path. We get down,
from the base camp down to the parking lot. It's
down
through
to
the forest as well.
It's through the forest as well. So it's dark, super dark, and you're trying to make sure you're on this path. And so what should have been 2 hours ended up being another 3.5 hours. We got to the car. We drive the car to that Burger King, which is right on the border, on the thing, and we're sitting there eating. Nobody's talking to anybody else. Flies are like coming and landing and just moving around, and people are just not moving at all. My hair hurt. And we got back. We got back to where we were sleeping. The next day, we go back to Vienna. I don't think we ever talked to that couple again.
I've got to say that one of my favorite outdoor activities is picking up roadside food and eating in the parking lot. That's a nice thing to do.
Love it.
It's a real road trip thing to do.
That is true. But like in Maine, that was always a really fun thing to do. God, just going out for a drive. I consider going out for a drive an outdoor activity.
No, it totally is.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
that's what motorcycling's all about.
Hitting a lobster shack and getting a lobster roll. And, so good.
Ride past some place and think, ooh, that sounds good. I want to have that kind of exotic burger, whatever it said on that outdoor menu in chalk.
Exactly. And or like being on Mallorca and walking through the town and then saying, oh, that looks like a cute place. Let's stop in there and play air hockey for a while. They got an air hockey table outside. Let's do that.
Yeah. I said drinking cocktails outdoors is an outdoor activity.
Definitely an outdoor activity. One of my favorites. I think that's an interesting thing, because when you said that, for me, I had instantly an image of that halcyon salad days sort of umbra around that image, that sort of late afternoon, golden hour kind of thing. And I guess that's how I want all of my life to be. That's why I like any outdoor activities when it's warm.
Yeah.
And if it's cold, I want to avoid outdoor activities because it's harder to get that. There are some activities in the cold where I think you can get that feeling, but we hit it. You have to be properly attired.
Yes.
And that activity, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a group. It helps if it's in a group, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, I don't think.
Well, yes, that's true. Sledding can be fun on your own. It's fun to go sledding.
Or cutting
in a group,
wood can be good fun, or shoveling a drive can be fun on your own. And I know that's work, but it's also an outdoor activity which I could put into that thing because after that,
gardening is an outdoor activity.
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's see what the chat says.
Sure.
Photography. Oh yes, I guess that if you're doing it outdoors, it's an outdoor activity. Yeah.
Wait, we got to go up to the top here.
Flying helicopters. You can do that as an indoor activity as well. I might challenge you.
They're just really tiny.
Find a very big building.
Could write a book about this. Used to own a horse for 28 years. Horse riding, great outdoor activity. Hated
Mowing the
activity,
lawn.
mowing the lawn. Okay, Andrew, do you have one of those Roombas for the lawn? Our friend has one, or our friend's parents, Suze's parents have one. I talked to her dad about it for a long time, and I love that idea. I mean, I don't know if I ever want to live someplace that's got one of those lawns that that would work for. I'm not saying I don't want a lawn,
a robot
but
lawnmower. Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a Roomba, a robot vacuum cleaner,
Yeah.
and I probably will never be allowed to own one of those. But
Allowed?
yeah,
There's an NSA somewhere saying, no, Jim, no. No Roomba for Jim.
no, there's somebody I want to sleep with. I want to continue to sleep with that says, no, you're not getting a Roomba. If I were to get one,
So she's the NSA going,
yeah,
no, Jim.
no, I'm sorry, Jim, no,
not you.
no, you are not allowed. is not for you.
Horse riding is a great outdoor activity. I've never actually got the knack of horse riding. Have you got the knack of horse riding?
I
Have
haven't
you
ridden-
been on a horse often enough to get the knack of it.
There was a time where I had a friend who had a horse, and I rode for a little while, and it was fun, but it was never a thing. I felt comfortable on it, but it wasn't. For me, that was always a rich person thing, and so I had a couple of rich friends that I would sometimes go, they would take me riding horses, but never really kind of was in my world. Favorite outdoor activity: golf. You stopped playing golf, right?
Well, I stopped playing golf because I can't afford to have several expensive hobbies, and all of my hobbies are expensive. So the golf kind of got put on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's not on the shelf forever. I actually do think about playing golf occasionally. But right now, yeah.
It's winter. But it's a good activity. I mean, I
nice
have a love-hate relationship with golf. I mean, on the one hand, I love it because it's a very relaxing sport. It's something you can do for yourself.
Very frustrating
It's a
sport
very
as well.
frustrating sport, so there's a lot of things that, you can always be learning, you can always be optimizing or, being creative in that regard. You can kind of track your progress. I love all of those things. It's a nice setting. But on the other hand, I hate golf because it's so fucking elitist and such a huge waste of resources. And there are so many
But
golf
is-
courses in places
yeah.
where there's just should not be a goddamn golf course.
But is golf as elitist in the US as it is in Austria?
Way more so.
Really?
I mean, there are going to be some public golf courses, which are, but
Oh, so maybe it's
still.
more like the UK and South Africa that have like cheaper golf courses.
Yeah, but even if they're cheaper, I mean, that might help with the elitism, but it does not help with the amazing amount of chemicals.
No,
and,
sure. I'm not. Yeah,
and
it's a,
land resource. I mean, it's just crazy. So I've got this weird love-hate
Yeah.
relationship with it because I mean,
understand.
they are there. And if Jeff was like, "Hey, let's go and do 18," I would love it because I haven't done it in years, and it would be awesome.
Least favorite outdoor activity: golf in the rain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wet and uncomfortable, and it gets everywhere. Seeing, hearing, smelling the ocean with sand between my toes is Philly Girl 1000's favorite outdoor activity. I totally hear that. That's a lot of activity. Anything outside, I kind of like, but my fucked up knee kind of makes everything super. I think is what she meant to write.
Yeah.
Her funnied up knee
So she likes to
kind
be
of makes everything
outside.
super. Yeah.
Lying in the sun. Tooling around in the forest again.
Yes, it's a perfectly valid
Tooling around
verb.
in the forest.
Least fave, having to deal with other people while I'm having fun tooling around in the forest. Yeah, because people can ruin everything. The worst is the first warm weekends after the winter when all those Sunday bike riders are out blocking my path, getting in my way, walking too slow.
Hey, horse-drawn carriages.
Horse-drawn carriages. You know?
Like a buggy. I think a buggy could be fun. Those two-wheel buggies.
Yeah. There used to be, near where I grew up, a racetrack. And they did that, with the two-wheeled things. racing. Picnics are awesome. Of course they are. Verena needs a uniform when she's in the buggy.
When she's in the buggy.
Photography, anywhere. Outdoor, as an outdoor activity, photography. I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. I have no idea what's going on here.
No.
That's all fine.
They've got something going there.
There's a new Swinger Club NRC in the house.
Hasn't been around for a long time.
Welcome back. Running or hiking. Great outdoor activities. Andrew doesn't have a lawn Roomba. I don't have one that's big enough that I can afford. Yeah. You just have to let it go longer. They're really cool. Or maybe you can get one and pimp it, soup it up.
No, Marcus is like, get 10. What if they start fighting each other?
Yeah.
Program them to fight each other.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
Like everyone has its little spot of lawn, and then they have to defend it against the others.
This is the ticket, and they have their own little
It's like
pad where
playing
they go
lawn
back.
chess.
Oh, so good. You could put googly eyes on them and name them and see who's gaining more
You can sit on
control.
the porch and take pot shots at them with a pellet gun.
Ding! Ding! Great swarms of blade-wielding robots for when Skynet takes over. Yes. I live surrounded by a golf course, says Moko, and she's never played. I had, when my mom's parents, my grandparents, they lived in Florida for a while, and they lived on a golf course. I told you the story about meeting the alligator. I think that's a really weird place to live. It was beautiful, because it was so manicured and green and everything, but also super weird. Super weird. There's like 8 golf courses around where my dad lives.
But he lives in Florida.
But he also lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's no place in Florida where there are not like 8 golf courses around.
That could very well be.
Like it's just the golf courses and the retirement villages.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And the retirement villages, have we talked about those where they have those like interests? Like there's one retirement village that's based around golf, and so there's several golf courses, and there's another one that's based around flying that we went to visit my dad's friends, and you drive down the street, and instead of a garage, you would have a garage, but there would also be a hangar.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're gonna have to.
We've spoken about this.
Oh
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about because I was in Pacific City, Oregon, and I woke up. We got there late at night, and I woke up the next morning to this buzzing, and I thought that sounds like an aircraft engine. And I opened the window of our motel, and there was a strip right in front of, and they were taking off right there.
Right there. Factoid for Michael: to drive or jaunt about, going from place to place without any specific direction or goal. Question, quotations, idiomatic, to spend one's time idly. That's the name of the book in English, How to be Idle. Eine Einleitung zum Musikgang, or How to be Idle. I can't remember the author's name, but if we can find that book, it's great. It's really very good.
I do quite a lot of that in summer and spring when the bike's going, just lazily riding around.
The East Coast is starting to be a place filled with things that will kill you. Water-based reptiles, large spiders, golf courses.
Water-based reptiles.
Yeah. So, I think we did a good job. Outdoor activities, I think everyone's sort of for.
On the fence about it. I think everybody's kind of on the fence. It's like there's things that we like and there's a lot of stuff that we don't like.
True that.
Yeah. It's like a bit of both.
It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I think we can continue doing the good ones. And we should just let the old bad ones fly away.
Yeah, I think we should be open to new ones, but
Yeah?
we should definitely consider repeating the old ones.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, can we discuss? Yes, let's discuss factoid. So Verena just threw in here, I think on the Facebook, on the
Isbaz HQ.
put in the definition, there's a difference between, this is a meme that goes, it's not a meme, but it's a thing that goes around where they say a factoid is in fact a piece of fake news, and a
Trivia.
piece of trivia is an interesting tidbit of information. I hear you. But for me, I have to admit, I've been using the word factoid for an interesting bit of information.
It's a Jimism.
Since I was a child, and it did not come from my brain. It came from
Marvel Comics.
321 Contact magazine, which was awesome. And there was always factoids in there to amaze your friends and wow your teachers. And I did. I amazed my friends and I wowed my teachers with a lot of those factoids. So the thing is about the idea of factoid meaning this and that meaning that, language is moving. Language is always shifting. And colloquially, a factoid is a small tidbit of information. Nobody I know.
In the Jim universe.
Well, have you ever heard anybody use the term factoid to describe a piece of fake news?
I've never heard anybody use the term factoid besides you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, maybe it's more of a North American piece of English. Not a Jimism.
Yes, so I spoke with the producers of the show this morning, and they said if you come up with something that we can put in a splash video like this.
You just factoided.
You
You're
changed
welcome.
the screen. Can you do it again? Can't do it again until you do that.
What's going on?
Oh, the factoids aren't working for some reason.
Anyway, so if you come up with something that works for factoided, and it's not trivialized, or triviated, or trifacted, we'll do it. Otherwise,
No,
it's
we
going to
won't.
stay factoided.
All
That's
right,
what the producers
fine.
said.
That's what the producers said? You spoke to the producers?
I spoke to the producers.
Man, they think they can do anything they
They
want.
can do anything they want.
Well,
They-
then it's up to you guys. Come up with something better than factoided, but I like factoided.
We're done.
And now the theme song from 321 Contact is in my head, rent-free for the day, because it was an amazing theme song. Contact, it's the moment, it's the reason, when everything happens, contact. Let's make contact.
Oh boy, who would
Three,
have
two,
imagined
one,
that this
contact.
is where this is gonna go?
It's a good song. All right. How about...
Davina's in agreement. We can still use factoided. We'll see whether Moko and Muchacho agree. And
We
yeah.
did it. So next week.
But
is
it's
it.
definitely up for discussion. But you're gonna have to talk to the producers.
You're going to have to talk to the producers.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to be here.
We are gonna be here.
It's going to be episode 65.
There are gonna be 3 chapters.
And it's going to be next week, Thursday,
The 17th of March
2022.
at 8:30.
I like that. I'm into that.
Cool.
Let's say goodbye really quick to everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Follower of Clay.
Good night. Verena. Good night.
Andrew.
Moko.
You're gonna say good night before every name.
I don't know. I guess not.
Good night, Monica.
You say the names. I'll say good night.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
Okay.
Good night.
No, you say the names. I'm saying good night.
Okay. Say good night.
No, you have to say the name first and then I say good night.
You don't say Monica good night. You say good night, Monica. You have to say good night first.
Or,
This is gonna take
you
forever.
can do- Good night.
Monica.
Good night.
Machado.
Good night.
Follower of Clay.
Good night.
Verena.
Good night.
Pavlov.
Hey, good night.
Fligo. Marcus.
Good night.
Swinger Club.
Good night. Good night.
Jeff.
Good night.
Andrew.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Christina.
Good night.
And the bot. Saddam Alom.
Good night.
Okay, that definitely was.
I think
worth it.
Saddam Alom does mean
toad-
good night in Russian bot, doesn't it? Saddam Alom.
With the hand movement.
Saddam Alom.
Saddam Alom.
Yeah.
Sounds like something's dangling. Saddam Alom.
Saddam Alom.
Saddam Alom. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It fell off the roof and now it's just Saddam Alom.
Last night, Jacob and I were talking about how the English always seem to just use these. You can say anything in an English accent and make it sound like it's an idiom, you know? Well, I walked in there and she was all tops and bottoms. Or, that really puts your grandfather in the cheese grinder, doesn't it? It's kind of like that.
What's a cheese grinder?
It's just an idiom. It's an English way of
What's
saying,
a cheese grinder do? Grind cheese?
you know, the grandfather's in the cheese grinder in this made-up idiom, Michael. You should parse it out on your own time.
What's a cheese grinder do?
Grinds cheese, Michael.
Are we going to end this?
Yes.
Good.
We'll see you next week.
I
Thank you
think
for
we got
joining
all of
us.
it.
I think we did it.
It was the best Isbaz ever.
It was the best is best.
Like retrospectively, it was definitely the best. Is like looking at it from now, from this point of view.
In a succession
Yeah.
of Isbazes,
Yeah,
I think this was the best one.
yeah,
Yeah. We are at the peak of evolution
yeah.
of our Isbazes with this one.
The pinnacle.
The pinnacle.
Absolutely.
The zenith.
Zenith. Yeah.
Like
Nice.
that. Yeah, thanks. So,
So,
remember, no matter what the subject or what it was about,
even if you disagree,
you can always hug it out.
you can hug it out.
You want to hug it out? We're going to definitely have to. Good night, everybody. Hug it out.
Golf.
Frisbee.
Mowing the lawn.
Jumping up and down.
Running.
Swimming.
Skipping.
Hiking.
Feeding the ducks.
Taking the dog out for a walk.
Shooting moose.
Playing with caterpillars.
Swinging on the swings.
Collecting flowers.
Climbing the tree.
Jumping through hoops.
Eating dirt.
Taking a child from its mother.
Running away from bears.
Drinking cocktails.
I saw a Volvo today.
You saw a Volvo today?
I was driving around and I saw a Volvo with a Ferrari sticker on it.
Right.
But it wasn't a prancing horse, it was a prancing moose. It was very funny.